It's one of the biggest questions we discuss in our workshops and webinars. How much content do I need for a successful medical marketing strategy? So let me guide you through some of the basics when we talk about content. What do we mean by content, and how can we make sure you make the right choice? And as we look at a medical website, you'll see that the homepage is obviously there. There's an about page, there's a contact page. But what is important is the amount or the number of content pages you have, let's say after 6 months or after 12 months, and whether they are optimized for Google. So we know obviously the content is for the patient. We want the patient to get value out of their visit to your website. First impression, you want them to stay, you want them to read up on the content, and then finally, as you inform them, you educate them, you want to guide them through the content so they take action. And there's always a call to action somewhere at the end of every content page so they can either make a booking, make an inquiry, or change their referral. So that's the flow of a good content page. It's optimized for Google because the titles, the headers, the keywords, the volume of copy versus the images that we use, it's all balanced out to tell Google, hey, this is a great object, this is a great item. If someone in Sydney is looking for an obstetrician specializing in high-risk pregnancy, show this page. That is how organic Google ranking works, and that is something you should know before you make a decision about the number of pages you purchase or you co-produce with your agency. So understanding what these pages are doing is step one. Deciding about the number is step two, and deciding about the delivery speed is step number three. Now, what do I mean by that? So let's go back to one of the live strategies. And for example, if we have an initial set of 3, 4, 5 pages, what we'll do is we'll have a foundation. For example, obesity could be one of our first pages. We'll start creating some visibility. But as we know, there is quite a high level of competition in many medical specialties. So quite soon you'll know that you'll need more pages. So you could add 5, 10 pages straight from the beginning and start measuring their visibility, or you could add a new page every quarter or every month. And then gradually over the 12 months, you would build that organic visibility with more pages, each covering a specific keyword that we know patients type into Google. How do we know? Because we measure the actual behavior of the patient that visits your specialty website. So we do advanced keyword research to map what your patients are Googling for, and then we use the data to build that content. So whatever your niche, whatever the conditions you treat or the services that you offer, it's a matter of building that strong library of content over time, fully optimized for Google, so patients can find the information and Google knows that patients can find the information. So what Google will do is it will flag your website as highly credible, having high authority, and more of your content pages will show up on page 1 of Google search. And that's where all the traffic goes. We know that most people stay on page 1, they click through and they make a choice. So being on page 1 for, let's say, 10, 15, 20 keywords, well, that's content marketing. So if that makes sense, you either want to have a more in-depth, slow down version of this conversation applicable to your niche, book a free one-on-one strategy session, and we'll talk about the magic number of content pages for your website in more detail. I look forward to hearing more about your practice.